Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing a bit of gardening. It's Wednesday. I've got the day off. My husband has the day off. So it's a rare time during the week that we had some time to get some things done in the garden. And it's an absolutely beautiful day. I'm so glad that the hot weather, although I think we have a little bit of warmish weather coming this weekend, not too hot though. But we've had much milder weather, and it just means that I've got more energy to get outside and get things done. I'm a little bit behind, to be honest, in terms of getting the garden ready for winter, but you know, it's happening, and that's the main thing, even if it is a little bit late. So what I'm doing, and I thought I grabbed the camera and sort of show you what we're doing to prepare the beds. We just got a trailer load of mushroom compost to top up all of our garden beds, particularly the raised beds. I'm not really going to grow anything, I don't think, in the other beds this winter. I'm going to sow a cover crop in some of them, and I'm just going to let them rest and add some more organic matter and nutrients. I felt like the soil wasn't that good this summer and dried out very easily. So I really want to improve the soil for next spring and summer. And and really kind of build that organic matter and give it some more resilience going into the next season for later this year. So we'll be mostly growing our winter veg in the raised bed. So we're topping them up with some compost. I'm trying to get better at making my own compost. I haven't been that good at it in terms of volume, but I'm really trying to work hard to get some compost happening so I have more that I'm producing myself and not having to buy in. But at the moment, I've sort of just started that process again, and there's just not enough to put into the gardens that we need. So we bought a trailer load. But I wanted to show you something that I'm doing as we were topping up the raised garden beds. I saw this idea and thought, this is fantastic. I was thinking of doing a worm farm, like a separate worm farm. And then I saw this idea of making a worm farm tube in your garden bed itself. And so that's what I'm preparing for. I won't get them all finished today, but I will show you the process once I do the other parts. But for today, I'm actually just getting the pipes in because we are adding compost. And while I'm at it, I thought I might as well dig a hole and get these pipes into the garden bed. So we had some of this PVC pipe just hanging around at home. If you've got some hanging around at home, or you know someone who might have some just sitting in their shed that they're not going to use, or offcuts, go and get that before purchasing new ones. You might even be able to get it from your local tip or salvage yard or something like that. If you really have to, go and buy some, but we had this lying around. So I've got these lengths of pipe that I have cut to 50 centimeters each. And then, as you can see, I have drilled holes randomly through it. They're about sort of 0.5 centimeter wide. And I've left no holes towards the top because this top part will stick out of the ground. And then I'll show you the process of what we do inside that. But basically, it's going to be like a little mini worm farm. So I'll put in some newspaper, some maybe straw, some kitchen scraps, and I will have to get composting worms, and they are different worms to what you get in your garden. They're sort of smaller, thinner and red in colour. So I'll buy some composting worms and sort of put some in each of these pipes and then continue to feed it. I will need to cover the top with something. But that's what I'm doing. So I've spent some time, I've got all the pipe, I've drilled all my holes, and I've already put 2 into 2 of the... So this garden bed here, the soil had dropped a fair bit, so we've topped it up. I actually put some grass clippings underneath, and then some straw, and now we've put compost on the top, and it's actually fairly nice compost to sort of top this garden bed up. And then you can see in the middle here is where I've put my pipe. So the holes are under the ground. I just dug a hole in the middle, put that in, and then we'll have to fill it, which I'll do. I don't know if I'll get around to that today, but I will do it in this video. But I'm just sort of placing them in there for now while we're filling up the garden beds and topping them with compost. It was a good opportunity to do that. I've got another one over here. So this bed, I found some, I'm pretty sure these are leek, growing under the shade of a tomato. I do remember planting them, but I don't think they've got enough, they didn't get enough sunlight, but I've uncovered them now and they're all looking pretty good. So yeah, this bed has all been topped up, and then I've put my pipe there in the middle, and now I've got to go and work on one of the round beds over the other side. All right, so we're going to work on this raised bed first, which doesn't have much in it, just a few azinia, which the bees are still getting into. They're doing pretty well. And I've got a rhubarb, and I have some self-seeded parsley that I'm going to let grow there too. But we're just going to dig. Oh yeah, I just remembered I put some kitchen scraps compost and dug it underneath a few spots in this garden.
Right.
So that's why you got a few eggshells.
I was wondering how I got eggs in here. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not growing eggs.
Pretty sure the chickens don't come over here.
No. But the rest of it seems to have composted all right, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'll have to go deeper there.
Okay. Yeah, I had a few sort of patches where I just dug a hole and put some kitchen scraps in to try and improve the soil. The soil actually looks pretty good until you get further down when you hit that sandy stuff.
Oh, that's what we put in first.
which is the crappy soil, but so long as the top bit's all good.
Let's have a look at this.
How does that go? Oh yeah, I reckon that'll be pretty good. And then by the time we put some compost on top. Perfect. Very good. Another one done.
Another one bites the dust.
Another one, yeah. And now for the wheelbarrow load of compost to go on here.
I'll just grab me.
An issue that I am still having in the garden is a problem with slater bugs or rolly bugs, whatever you want to call them. I'm here in the strawberry garden, and I've just sort of moved the strawberries to the side to put some compost and top up around the strawberries, and there are so many in there. So I did try using half an orange, which does work, but at the moment all I can see is ants in there. I think they seem to like it at the very start when you put it in, and then as it kind of gets eaten and broken down, they're not as interested. So I have heard that potato, they're attracted to potato. So I've got these potatoes in the pantry that were sprouting. I've cut them in half and hollowed them out a little bit to attract the bugs into there. So I'll sort of sit them upside down, and then I'm hoping I can sort of pick them up and then go and take them to the chickens and let the chickens eat them. But I'll see if I can show you how many I have in this vegetable garden. All right, so this is our strawberry garden. It's sort of like a tiered garden. I've also got some calendula in there as well, that just kind of self-seeds and grows. But I'll just put a glove on and I'll show you in here when I pull this aside. Oh, they've all hidden now, haven't they? But you can see them under there. I don't know if you can see them. But they're all hiding, but they're all in there underneath my strawberries. Let's have a look over in this one. If I pull it back, see how many. There are so many in there. They're all hiding from me. Every time I lift it, they try to get away. But there's so many underneath these strawberry plants. So here's my orange. So it's fairly well, the ants are liking it, but it's fairly well consumed now. So I'm going to take these potatoes, and actually I'll put a little bit of compost on there first, but I'm going to sit them in the ground like that and hope that they get attracted up inside there, and I can move them away from my strawberries, because there are just so many in there. It's horrible. Right, so I've chopped this up with compost, and I've put potatoes beside, and one in between, beside my strawberries, in a hope that might slow them down. I mean, the strawberries will slow down now, but yeah, unfortunately my strawberries were getting eaten by either ants and the slaters. But let's see how that goes. I don't know if it's gonna work. If anyone has any other ideas, please let me know. Now that my garden beds are done, I have had some seedlings that I've planted out. So as I said, these leek were being shaded by some volunteer tomatoes. So I'm hoping they'll still grow okay. And then I've put in, you probably can't see them because they're tiny, but I've put in some new leek all the way through there. That's just a random lettuce that was growing in the pot with the leeks. I'd say a seed kind of popped in there. And then right along the edge here, I've put in a whole heap of spring onions, and then some lettuce. These, oh no, these aren't lettuce, these are flowers. And I think maybe these might be a little bit small yet. I have planted them out, but I've left the rest in the pot. I've just thinned them out a little. These are more established seedlings. This is, let me try to remember, cornflower. No, it's not, it's straw flower. So pop some flowers along the edge of the garden bed there. And I've still got plenty of room in the middle to grow some other things. And then over here, I've got some lettuce. Again, these I didn't thin out, so they're a little bit bunched together. It was hard to pull them apart. I should have thinned them out, but that's okay. They'll still grow okay. I'm just going to leave them as they are in little bunches. This is a more established one, and this is how they should have looked. This is, I think, Australian. It's either cos or Australian. Looks like Australian loose leaf, or yellow leaf, I think it's called. I've put a couple of flowers in there. That's a nigella. It's called Love in a Bloom Mist. And I've popped another straw flower over there. I have got sage, which I'm hoping that is still alive. I hope it will just come back in spring. We'll see. And I've got a thyme in the middle there. Obviously they do sort of die back a little bit at this time of year. So I've still got plenty of room. I like to put lots of greens, lettuce, things like that in here, because that's the back door. I can come straight out here and pick what I need for whatever we're eating. And then I've still got plenty of flower seedlings. So this is the nigella, this is cornflower, and this is straw flower. More straw flower there that I thinned out, and that's nigella as well. So and I've got plenty of marigolds here going really, really well in these pots. The bees are loving them. I did have these pots over here beside the greenhouse to give them a little bit of shade over summer. They were drying out too much, but now I've brought them back out into the sun. So I've got a pot here that I will put some new potting mix in and put some more flowers in there. Trying to get as many flowers as we can for our bees, because there's not a lot for our bees at the moment, particularly since we've had fires as well, and there's just not a lot in flower. So I'm trying to plant flowers for my bees. These are viola. They just self-seed, so I've just kind of let them grow here. I'll just let them do their thing and I'll just plant around them. And this garden bed, I just popped a few of the straw flowers either side here. This is meant to be a scarecrow, but I've never got around to actually getting any like clothing and that for it. We might try to do that this winter if I can remember. So still plenty. We'll probably put brassicas in these 3 beds here. This is just a self-seeded parsley, yep, and I've put another nigella in there, and then my rhubarb, which still, I don't know, it's not really doing well. I'm hoping maybe with an addition of compost and with a worm farm in the middle there, that maybe that will do better. It seems to be getting eaten as well. I don't know what has been eating that and causing that, but yeah, not doing the best, unfortunately. So there are my 3 beds here ready to plant out for my brassicas. This bed is a raised bed that we're in the process of. It's sort of stopped at summer, but we've filled it with logs and sticks and branches and things like that. We need to fill it with probably just inferior crappy soil. We actually have some piled up over there from when they were doing fire breaks in our backyard. We've sort of dug up all of the bits on the side and we've popped it here so we can fill that and then start doing, I'll probably do like a lasagna bed where I'll put some straw or leaves or things like that, and then layer it with veggie scraps, grass clippings, that sort of thing, and then compost on the top. But we don't need to do potatoes yet anyway. That's kind of where we're hoping. I don't know if we'll do all of that potatoes, but some of that is going to be a potato bed. Then we've got this garden bed now here is all done. So we've weeded and we've aerated and put some compost on top. What I'm going to do here is I might go and do that now, is I'm going to sprinkle seeds on here and grow a cover crop over winter. I really need to get it in before it gets too cold so that they germinate. So I'm going to do that today. This middle bed is still going. It's still got zucchini and tomatoes and things. They won't last too much longer, but I've left that for now. And this bed, this still needs spreading out. We've just got piles, but I'll do a cover crop through here as well. I think I'll pull this tomato plant out and do the whole bed. And then my flower bed really needs some attention, but I will give that some time and start layering some horse manure, grass clippings and compost and so on through here to get ready for spring. So that's our plan. So these beds I am not planning on really growing anything apart from cover crops this winter, and I'm going to focus on all of my raised beds for my growing. So this is my cover crop. It's a clover. So clover is good because it adds nitrogen to the soil, and then I can sort of just either dig it over or slash it down and it'll just sort of disintegrate or break down into the soil. And so this will grow over winter, and then it should be ready sort of late winter or into spring to be sowing all of my spring and summer vegetables. So it says 100 grams covers 50 meters squared. I've got no idea how many meters squared I have, and I think this is 100 grams, I'm assuming. Anyway, I'm going to go and sow this in our beds and scratch it over, give it a water, and let's see what happens. It's several days later after the last part of this video that I just recorded, and I'm going to have to finish off my worm farm, in situ worm farms in my veggie gardens at another stage. So it might be in another video. The reason being is I can't get composting worms locally. I've tried, I've been and had a look. Our local hardware store used to they used to sell them, but they found that I think maybe the demand wasn't as high, and the worms often died. So people would buy them and then get home and find that the worms aren't alive, so they don't sell them anymore. So I'm pretty sure Bunnings sells them. It's an hour and a half to our closest Bunnings, so I'm going to have to wait until I am in a larger town at some stage, and I'm sure it will be the case in the next sort of several weeks. In fact, I was just having a thought as I was saying that. My parents are coming to visit possibly over Easter. I might even see if they can get some for me because they live in Melbourne. So yeah, I've got to wait. I can't do the next steps until I get the composting worms. So I'm going to do that part and show you how to set up those tubes in another video. May not be the next one, it might be in a few videos time, because this is the joy of living in a small town. You don't have access to everything that you need. I don't know if I could order them online. It's a possibility. I might even look into that, but it will have to be at a later date. So once I get those worms, I will then show you how to set those composting tubes up. All right, what I will show you though is what I've been up to, because I have been putting some seedlings into the garden after we topped everything up with compost, and also I've sowed some seeds. So I'll just sort of tell you what I've put in and what we're sort of preparing to get ready for before winter sets. So in this bed, you can see where I've got the planks of wood. I've put some carrot seeds in there. I'm hoping it's not too late for them. They do need some warmth, although this week is going to be high 20s and up to 30 for the whole week. So I'm pretty sure with a bit of warmth, we should be okay. Now, I'm just going to show you something, and I'm hoping I can get a good shot of this, but I just noticed this in my garden today. That there is a blue banded bee. Have a look at it. Isn't it beautiful? I have never seen these in my garden before. They are a native bee. I think you can find them all over Australia, except for maybe Tasmania. But have a look at it. Isn't that beautiful? Never seen a blue banded bee in my garden before, and it's been buzzing around today. I saw it earlier when I was sowing the seeds. So they are a native bee. They're solitary. They don't live in hives. And yeah, he or she, I'm not sure. I think the girls have more stripes or less stripes. I can't remember. I did look them up earlier. But there you go. That was good timing that it's come back to have a little bit of a go on my zinnia flowers. So that's that bed so far, and then over here I have put in the first of my brassica seedlings. It's actually buzzing around my head now, this blue banded bee. It's moved over to these ones now, but I have had to put up some bug netting because the cabbage moths are still around because it is still very warm, so they haven't disappeared. They will once it gets cold. This one as well. I've got some self-seeded violas in there, but I've just planted around them and put some of the brassicas. I think they're mostly broccoli and mini cauliflower that I've planted out so far. My cabbages I had to re-sow the seeds, so they'll take a little bit longer. I've been planting some flowers in pots, so some there, some over here, just to have a little bit of colour, but also for the bees. Now in this bed, you can't really see much. I have put a few lettuce seedlings along the edge, but in this area I have planted beetroot and radish in there, and then I'll probably do more greens, some herbs and some lettuce and so on in this bed. That's what I normally sort of have. Oh, and some silver beet probably. So because it's closest to the gate, it's an easy way to get access to that. I just realised that's why it's looking so close. I'm zoomed in for the bee and I haven't zoomed back out. This bed I've also put in amongst we've got the leek and and what are these? Oh yeah, spring onions along the edge and leek. These are leek from spring, summer, and I've put some new leek in beside them, and then some more beetroot and radish seeds in through that section and through here. So I was just going to have a little check on our potatoes and see how they're going. They've got holes in them. Can you see that? There's holes. Let's have a look and see. Oh yes, look at that. Oh, look how many there are under there. That works. I should try to scoop them up and give them to the chickens, but that is definitely working. Let's have a look over here where we've got my strawberries and see what's going on under this one. Not as much in there. There's some babies. There's some babies in there. And let's see this. These might be out in the sun a little bit too much. There's nothing under there. I'm going to try and put them further in out of the sun because I don't know that they like. Oh no, tell a lie. That was in the sun and look how many are in there. Look at them all. Okay, so that's working well. The potatoes work well as well as the oranges. There's a little test. And what else have I got happening? I think that's all. So thank you for watching. We'll keep you updated about how things are going in the garden as well, when autumn finally arrives, because it is really still warm. We've got a whole nother week of warmth this week, which will be very good for my seedlings and will be very good for the seeds I've just sown. So I'm not going to complain, but I'm sure the weather will be cooling down in the next several weeks, and then I'll show you how things progress once we get into the cooler weather. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this content, subscribe, free to subscribe, and you'll get a notification when I post another video. So thanks so much. Bye.